Hi, Rana, and welcome to the Quint.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You had a production house before you started out as an actor. And so it seems you always had this entrepreneurial spirit in you. Is South Bay a fusion of your creative as well as your entrepreneurial spirit?
Well, I think most things are. I mean, and whatever my entrepreneurial journey had been, it's been in the direction of telling stories better and finding the best means to do that.
Right.
So I think, I guess South Bay is also an extension of that in every which way. What we saw is there was a large missing gap in terms of culture-based content, and there was no one really curating it. Uh, and and really, the only place to be on was the internet, right?
Okay.
And it was really it's a culture company that we started with content first. We said let's start curating content. We took the direction of news, animation, stuff that's irreverent, some things that are music driven. So we said that those became the first touch points that we've had. So some interesting partners, under 25, that's been curating everything that's happening in the digital world and putting out millennial news. So that's the first. Then Lakshmi Manchu has a talk show called Coming Back to Life, which kind of connects global artists in a certain fashion where they've never been connected before, and really brings exposure to an audience in what a global scenario of an Indian really is in different fields.
Okay.
Then I have YRU, which is an irreverent, fun talk show, fiction, reality, something in between type talk show. And then we started curating music and independent musicians. So that's really where we started with, and this is the direction forward for content.
Okay, I saw a bit of Via You. I mean, at least the AV that I got to see was, it was presented in a fun and quirky way with Ram Gopal Verma.
Yes.
Is that going to be how it's going to be finally coming out, or is it just?
Well, it's so there's partly fiction, partly real, and that's what really the talk show is about. So there is a fictional universe that's also running. There is a real universe that's also running, and both of them keep meeting time and again, and with guests who are unique in their manner. So Ramu was top one. He was like really the A1 guest for this show. So he started with him. Then we have Bhuvan, we have Karan Johar, we have Kangana, we have a lot of them in for the coming episodes.
Okay. I believe Shruti Hassan is also there doing a show on it. And yes. I wanted to know, is South Bay catering largely to the South audience, South Indian audience?
No, it's really just driving from anything that's not mainstream. So in the idea of, there was always a mainstream that was different in India and a subculture that was very different, right? And this was the place we said, let's start marrying them both and giving subculture a platform to be with mainstream at this time. And for people who are mainstream and want to create unique content, it becomes another platform. So that's really why South Bay.
Okay. You want to tell us about Shruti Hassan's show?
Yes. So Shruti is actually putting together a bunch of things for us. First, being a show called The Secret Box, which is again, it's curating musicians of India in a very independent fashion. She comes from that understanding. She has a deep understanding of Tamil and music in two completely different senses, and has been someone who's been with music even before she's been with acting, and she and was happiest to put that together for her.
Now, Rana, I wanted to ask you. I mean, have you been watching web shows, original content online?
Lots. I think.
So, tell us something. What's your favorite? Probably your top 3 shows that you watch.
It's hard to pick a top 3 like that. I think, see, for a guy who has such diverse interests, I like war films, I like random animation, irreverent stuff too, pretty much everything in between, right? And what's my favorite? I think I'll have every time I have a this point favorite, and I think they will be of multiple genres. If I have to say a fiction favorite now, it's probably Queen's Gambit. That's something that I'm watching now. I'm a huge fan of these independent docus that kind of keep dropping on Netflix,
Right,
stuff from Vox and others, whether it's Explained, whether it's all of those that
right,
you
right,
can
right.
consume at any point with fun, and which is informative, and it's put across as fun at the same time.
Okay,
And I
okay.
think now it's been a splurge of a lot of documentaries that have been out of different people, various things that one couldn't speak about many years ago. I think all of them are suddenly out there on the internet, whether it's politicians, gangsters, or crime that happened across the planet, right?
Right.
So I think yeah. So I pretty much have favorites in each genre like that.
Okay, okay. Now, as of now, the internet is pretty much a free medium. There's no
Mhm.
censorship, which is a great advantage. But recently, there's been movement to bring it under the Information and Broadcasting Minister's ambit.
Right.
So, do you think that's a welcome move, or do you think that internet is something that should be left, free of
See, one
control?
is I don't see anybody really misusing the internet in a direction where the rest of the world is, right? I'm saying I think India as a certain culture, has a certain drop which lies in each space. I think we're now in a certain time and a generation that wants to express a certain format in the freest way possible. And so to me, I think there should be that platform which is left empty for craftsmen to do it at their perfect sense. But if that's being done by a curated by a global company in some format, right? And because see, then you can see, because India is a very big country, it's very hard to gauge what happens. See, like I put the same film out, the audience in Telugu react fantastically. There's somebody who has hated that film in some other parts of the world who didn't even know the film. It's because of a title, right?
Mhm.
So there's different things that you react with. So I think there should be a direction for all of them, but it's not a censorship uh, or holding content back in that format. So I think that should still be left to free speech.
Okay, okay. Now, you're most remembered as Bhalal Dev up north for
Yes,
Bahubali, and you had grown this muscular body for the film.
yes,
And we recently saw you in the teaser of Aranya or Hathi
right,
Mere Saathi,
yes.
and you had turned into this lean physique of this recluse who's staying in the jungle. What kind
Correct.
of what went into that physical transformation?
Well, I think first, that is why I am, I guess. I said each film I get to do something which is so unique where I don't look like the last character or the last person. And after I did Bahubali, with being Balal Dev from the Bahubali film, right? I think that's an image or that was a universe that was so big, and you always wanted an experience close to that, if not that again. And I think Hathi Mere Saathi gave me that world as soon as Eros and Prabhu Solomon had come, told me that story. It was building another human being that was very interesting, but we never saw. It was going into a world that is so close to us, which is the jungle, and yet we're still so far away from it. So to me, in a combination of that and being just a big adventure film in the jungle, uh, that again is from an 8 to 80 kind of watch. Everybody from all ages would love to watch films like these with animals and adventure. So I think in that combination, it was the right one to do after. So transformation wise, it's the character that will tell you what to do. So I still remember the first photo shoot we did with Mr. Prabhu Solomon was when I was actually much bigger, and we did the entire look test. We did a finished a whole day of exercise, and then he dropped it. He said, "No, this is not how I want you to look. Let's just grow your beard
Okay.
and drop as much as weight as you can till before this time of shoot." And that's how we kind of discovered who the Jungle Man was. And we went into Thailand and started doing the first rehearsals, recce's, and putting it together.
How much weight did you lose for it?
Quite a bit, yeah. I think a good 25, 30 kilos at an
Wow.
overall stretch, and then I keep fluctuating here and there. But that's been a from that big guy to another guy.
Okay, okay. Now, Hathi Mere Saathi was supposed to release on in April 2020,
Yes,
and we all
yes,
know what happened.
yes.
It's been rescheduled for next year. How much has the pandemic and the lockdown disrupted your life as an actor?
It disrupted the world first. I think what it's done to us is very, very little. I think we've been fortunate enough to be away from the virus and be safe in secure places. I think that to start with, I think it's been great. In terms of where it will be, I think, see, what's definitely happened in the pandemic is the amount of content we all consume has maximized.
Sort of, yeah.
Whether 10 times, 100 times, whoever you are as an individual, it's up to you to do the multiplication, right? And it just offers so much more medium. See, now if I want to do a big spectacle film, you always have the grand theater to do it, and you can keep doing more and more because that's why that's what audiences will want from cinemas. And while for going to a theater, now you have an OTT that you can stretch your characters out in a long format drama kind of sequence, and then you have all the YouTube and IGTV and all of the others to go as short as you want and as niche as you want with your content. So I think that's, to me, I think it's just a great time. What I wanted to do when I was 15 years old is happening now. So it's brought that energy back in terms of wanting to do more and more things in very different manners.
Okay. Now, my last question is, the last 8 months has been unrealistic for most of us, but you've gone ahead and got engaged and got married. Did you ever think of postponing it? And did you have to sort of dilute your marriage, the celebrations, because of what was happening around?
Yeah, I mean, that obviously, I mean, there was a rule to follow and there was a guideline to follow, and that was the safest thing to do, obviously.
Right.
But given that, one is it was probably the best way I could have gotten married. It was so lovely just because it was just the families. It was obviously you missed friends around, but it was small, intimate, perfect. And second, I'm not the kind of guy who'll postpone anything for whatever's happening in the world. I just keep going ahead with my plans.
Okay, great. Thank you so much for talking to us, Rana.
Thank you.
All the
Thank you,
best
sir.
for South Bay.
Thank you very much.